finally talking about it. We're finally talking about the transfer portal. I know we said a couple of weeks ago on the postseason Q&A that we were going to discuss the transfer portal, and we were going to talk about it on that the 27th, and then we got the allegations of tampering coming out, and all of a sudden we started talking about that on Tuesday, and we made that whole episode about tampering. Now, we're finally doing it. We're going to talk about the transfer portal. Everybody's been waiting for this episode. We're delivering it. We are talking about it. We're pumped up. We're fired up. We're going to talk about who are the real winners of the portal, who probably should have utilized the portal a little bit better. Wouldn't kind of call them losers. I would call them just, hey, probably should have used the portal a little bit better. We're going to talk about the winners of the portal. We're also going to discuss also some of the top players and some of my favorite moves that we saw in the portal. Guys, welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, and kind of cold, but here we're in the warm, right? So thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris, and whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, listening on Podbean or Apple, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college football coverage presented by me. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy. Follow all the pages there. The website's www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. We're ready to rock and roll, man. We have 6,500 listeners on all audio platforms, about 79,000 on channel views on YouTube. Guys, growing every day. A big thank you for taking some time out of your Tuesday and Thursdays each week to just listen to us. We're so thankful for you guys. We cannot do this without you guys. It's a we show, like I said, and we are so thankful because without you guys, we would not be doing this. I'm delivering the best episodes for you guys because y'all been wanting a portal episode. We're going to give you a portal episode. Not only that, we could not do this show without our Lord and Savior Jesus, because without Jesus, we would not be here, and we would not be in college football media, so we give him all the glory and all the praise. And if you want to come to know him, X and Instagram, at pigskin_frenzy. The website is www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Home and About Me page, there's contact info down below, and contact me there. It's the best decision you can ever make in your life. He is Lord of all. We're so grateful for him, and we give him all the glory, all the praise for just us being in college football media. And that's our mission. We talk about college football and also, most importantly, just spread his name across all platforms and shows. Without him, we would not be doing this. Guys, college football, getting ready to rock and roll. The portal. Again, another thing that, yes, like I keep saying, on each episode needs to be fixed, but I'm not going to keep on talking about it. We're going to talk about the good of the portal today, and which is fun because there's a lot of good players in this go-round of the portal in this year's class. A lot of people entered the portal. Some people before it was announced, there were some players where I was like, okay, I expected it to happen, right? I expected guys like a Drew Messemaker to enter the portal. I mean, after Eric Morris went to Oklahoma State, it was kind of fitting, like, okay, he's going to stay at North Texas. Most likely, I think he's just going to follow Eric Morris to Oklahoma State. Sure enough, he did. So it's like you look at all that and you're thinking these are just a lot of good, talented players in this portal at all positions. Quarterback for sure. Then you got guys at offensive tackle, guys at wide receiver, running back, all in the portal. And you're thinking this is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And some last minute surprises as well, before, the portal kind of just officially closed, which is pretty cool. So we're going to get down to it. We're going to talk about the top 10, break down who the winners are. We're going to talk about some of the moves that I liked, and we're also going to discuss who really should have utilized the portal better, right? Because there were some teams out there that I was stunned by the season that they had, and I was like, you probably need to use the portal a little bit. And I was like, I'm surprised, your rankings there. And the thing is, look, there are reasons for that. Either A, look, you try to use the portal and players are choosing other schools. You got that. Then there's also schools that their rankings are so low that, okay, yeah, we utilize it here and there, but we're not fully utilizing it. And then you're sitting there thinking, well, you probably should have. I mean, after the season you had. I'm going to name one of those schools in a minute because I'm kind of surprised they really didn't use the portal. And probably plus, maybe nobody wants to be there, and that's okay. There's a lot of talented players that probably want to go elsewhere, but you still try to shoot your shot at it. So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Man, the top 10 is is loaded. It's loaded with teams that you would think it would be at number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4, and yeah, and then you sit there and thinking, oh, okay, this school's doing something. So the top 10, and we can round out the top 10 before we go over some of the schools that I liked and everything, some of the moves I liked. You know what? Scratch that. We're going to talk about the players that I liked. Some of the players that I liked, and it's pretty much just to start us off. Really, some of the moves that I liked. I really like Cam Coleman going to Texas. I thought Cam Coleman going to Texas was really good. He was the overall best player according to On3, the number 1 composite player in the portal, and he was one of the best, probably the best player in the thing. Right? He's a stud. You can double cover him, right? At Auburn, you can double cover him, and he's gonna catch on both guys. He just needed a quarterback to throw to, and now he's got that with Arch Manning. Arch Manning finally coming into it his own. Cam Coleman, one of the best receivers, go out there and get him to help Arch Manning out a little bit more, along with Ryan Wingo. It's perfect. You got Wingo on one end, Coleman on one end. It's perfect. It really is. It's awesome to see. It's cool to see, and now Arch Manning can thrive a little bit more now that he has Cam Coleman. And Coleman's you think he's dangerous catching footballs at Auburn when he really didn't have a whole lot of people to throw to him. Think about how he's going to be at Texas. I think he's going to be lethal at Texas. At the quarterback spot, I think Sorsby going to Texas Tech makes sense. I think the fit is there. I think the coaching fit is there. They said it's the facilities. I know it's the money. He got a lot of money to go there. He's making more than Shadur Sanders is what I heard at one point, which is beyond me. It's crazy that NIL, some college players are making more than rookie NFL players, which is insane. But that's another topic. But Brendan Sorsby rather, it's a good move. I mean, coaching fit wise, facilities, whatever, but coaching fit wise, playbook wise, how he just being command of the offense. I think Texas Tech's a good fit for him. He's got some guys around him who can help him out. I think they can make another run at a Big 12 title with him. I know their schedule, a lot of people are saying that their schedule is kind of easy. I don't agree with that. I think their schedule is actually quite tough. If they can win some of those key matchups like a Houston, like an Oklahoma State, which I think Oklahoma State's going to be much improved this year, like a Baylor. You got Cincinnati. Cincinnati was good under Sorsby last year, but it's the rematch now. We'll see what happens. If they can just get all those matchups and win all those matchups, I think they're going to be fine. But we're going to see. And I don't know. I just wouldn't sit there and say, oh, it's an automatic win on everything. I think Texas Tech's probably going to be the best team and most equipped team coming back in the conference. But we can't sit there and say, yeah, that whole schedule's an easy schedule. It's automatic dubs. We'll see how their schedule plays out. That is more of a June topic, of a conference standing projections topic. But we'll see what happens with Sorsby. We'll see what happens. It's a good matchup, good look. I like that he got him, and I like that. I like that they got him. That's pretty good. What about Tennessee getting edge rusher Chaz Coleman? I like that move. I think they were in some need of edge rushers this past year, and now they get Chaz Coleman there. He's going to dominate at Tennessee. He's a perfect fit. He fits he's with Jim Knowles, right? Again, he fits Jim Knowles' system to a T. Now he's going to follow him to Tennessee, and he's going to fit him. That's a physical edge rusher to a T there. I think he's going to be good in the SEC. A lot of people are going to have to watch out for Chaz Coleman in the Southeastern Conference. I like that move a lot. Here's one that I liked. I like Jordan Seaton going to LSU. I think Jordan Seaton going to LSU was good because LSU needed some offensive linemen. Everybody went to the portal or either was going to the NFL. The offensive line, it was cleaned out. The offensive line was gone after this season. So now they started to build up a little bit more on the offensive line during the offseason, and Lane Kiffin at LSU is just building piece by piece by piece. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. But Jordan Seaton being here and being in this is going to LSU is a huge move because you got Braylon Moore back. You got him back, and then you got Jordan Seaton on the offensive line as well. So that's two good offensive linemen. You get you get three more right there. You're straight, right? So if you get a few more, you're straight, right? So, and they were getting a few more. LSU's offensive lineman is really good. They're starting to build up on the line. The players that they're getting on the offensive line are going to be really good. Seaton, good move there. Lane Kiffin really needed a big offensive lineman and a big piece there. He's he's number 4 in the 24/7 sports composite portal rankings as a player, number 4th player in the rankings. It's such a good move all around. They needed some offensive linemen. That's a huge need for them, and they picked him up. They needed quarterbacks. They needed some more receivers. They got a bunch of receivers. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Obviously, I think Sam Levitt going to LSU was the best. I mean, he was the number 1 player in the 24/7 sports composite rankings for the portal. He was the number 1 player. It was the best move for them. They needed that. They needed that move because it fits Lane Kiffin's system. I like the move. He's fast, he's quick, he's smart. He's got an arm, and he just fits Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss's system. He really does. So I'm glad that they got Sam Levitt. I think it's a good move and smart for them to pursue them. Lane Kiffin's been working really hard in this portal. When I tell you he's been working really hard at LSU getting there, he's retained a lot of his recruiting class. He's retained a lot of in-house personnel. He's retained a lot of in-house players, and he's also went into the portal and is now working in the portal. So we're going to talk about that. It's really not close because by a mile LSU's leading right now. So, or is currently winning. Honestly, it's hard to replace a Hakeem Mesidor, and it's hard to replace a Reuben Bain. But Miami went out and got Damon Wilson Jr. Damon Wilson the second, Jr. I call him Jr. from Mizzou. I think Damon Wilson going out and getting Damon Wilson's a very good move by Miami at the edge rusher spot. Going there and picking him up. And not really replacing both Hakeem Mesidor and Reuben Bain, but you're replacing one of them at least. Going there and replacing a talent like a Bain or a Mesidor, that's really good for them. They still got some good people and some good talent there at Miami going into 2026. I'm really high on Miami going into 2026, especially after the move they made. I think that edge rusher pickup, though, from Damon Wilson there is really good. Really good for Miami. Good on them. He's a good player. He's talented. He's fast. He's physical. And he's going to provide a much-needed boost and pickup now that Bain and Mesidor are gone. They need somebody at the edge to take over, and Wilson can do that for Miami. So that was a really good pickup for them. We're going to go with a couple more, and then we'll move on to the team rankings and who won and who lost, really. So, I mean, another one to me would be Darian Mensah. Let's talk about that situation really quick. There was a whole deal where he signed a contract with Duke saying he was going to stay at Duke. All of a sudden, he ended up I think it was like a couple days later, I believe. A couple of days later, he ended up saying, "I'm going to go to the portal." It was like a week ago later. Sorry, rather. Thank you. Thanks for the reports on the phone there. A week ago. It was a week ago or a week later where he said, "You know what? I'm entering the portal." Right? I think this is in my best interest. Go back to the topic on Tuesday. I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, no, you don't think so, right?" I mean, you never know nowadays. There could have been some meddling around involved. We will see, but I don't know. I don't think so. He's probably entered the portal at his own will. But he entered the portal, and I think a lot of the radar and the lights flickering were saying, okay, Miami, because Miami was in need of a quarterback. Carson Beck's no longer there. You need to get a quarterback for 2026. Enter Darian Mensah. Darian Mensah, one of the best, probably the top 3 best quarterbacks in college football last year. He was he was top 3 or top 3 to top 5 in passing yards in college football, not just in the ACC. He was number 1 in the ACC, I believe. But Darian Mensah ended up leaving Duke. There was a whole big settlement issue there. The settlement everything was settled in that settlement, which allowed him to enter the portal and leave Duke. He's no longer at Duke. And then I think, yesterday, he signed and is now transferring and committed to Miami. So Darian Mensah's at Miami. I really like this pickup. I had Jake Crane on the show. Jake Crane from Crane and Collin from On 3. Guys, go watch their show. Check them out. They're awesome. They are, amazing. Jake's an awesome guy. Shout out to him. He was on my show. He said, "What do you think about Darian Mensah from Duke?" And I said, "He's just okay. I don't know if he's worth $4 million." Well, he proved me wrong and shut me up really quick. Because the back half of the season, he played really good. He led him to he led Duke to an ACC championship, and then Duke ended up winning the ACC championship. I know there was a bunch of chaos in the ACC, but still, he still won them that game, and the way he played in that game was pretty solid. Darian Mensah can do that at Miami in the ACC. He can. He can do that there. He's got a lot of talent. He had some talent at Duke. He has way more talent at Miami. He's got guys like Malachi Toney with him. He's got Mark Fletcher, who most likely will come back in the backfield. So you got a 1-2 punch with Mensah and Fletcher. He's got some weapons at receiver, and then they can build and they can help that offense around with a defense. I think Miami was, if you want to give me an early top 25, I think Miami was about maybe 16, 15 for me, going into the top 25, way too early rankings. We're going to bump them up. I think they're top 10. I think that offenses are going to be really solid. I think they get the perfect quarterback to run that offense. Shannon Dawson is back. Corey Heatherman is back. Miami looks primed and ready to try to make another run at this again. And I would not be surprised if they did. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So I'm kind of high on Miami going into this year. I really am. So Darian Mensah, I really like that pick. There's one pick that I liked. I really liked it. And a lot of people are going to think, this one? I really do. I think John Henry Daly going from Utah to Michigan was really cool. I mean, I thought that was awesome. Following his coach, following Kyle Whittingham, he is edge rusher, 6'4", 255 pounds. He's big and muscular. He is probably going to be the best player on that Michigan defense. And Michigan has some great players on defense. I'm not saying that, but I think the overall guy up front on the defensive line, edge rusher, is probably going to be John Henry Daly. I think John Henry Daly has got it. I think he has got that it factor on the edge rusher, and a lot of people are going to be mesmerized when they see him play in the Big Ten. He's got the look and the build to play in the Big Ten, and I think he's going to wreak havoc against offensive linemen this coming up here with Michigan. I really do. I think John Henry Daly is an excellent pickup. He did really well at Utah. I think he can do really good at Michigan. I really like this pick. I really do. And the thing is, Michigan has not had a bad portal class. They've done really well. Kyle Whittingham has utilized the portal very well early on for Michigan. But I really like this move here. I really do. I think it's going to help out their edge rusher needs. It's going to help out their defensive line a lot. So I like that one. I really do. So those are the players that I really liked and some of the moves that I liked in this portal so far. I really did. I really like it. Let's talk about the top 10. We'll go over the top 10. We're going to go over the winners and then okay, y'all probably should have used the portal a little bit more. So, top 10 overall, transfer portal ranking wise. Here are the top 10. There are some surprises outside of the top 10, yes, but here are some of the guys and some of the teams that are in the 24/7 rankings, the number 1 through 10, right? So, number 1, LSU, they've had 40 commits. 40. Yes, they have 3 5-stars, 11 4-stars, 26 3-stars. They have composite points. They have 86.52 in the 24/7 sports rankings. They are number 1 in the portal rankings. They most likely finish out with the number 1 class. And it's not really close. I mean, Ole Miss is number 2, but it's a distance. There's a distance there. Lane Kiffin is utilizing the portal. The notion of he cannot recruit, portal or high school. Well, he retained a lot of the high school recruiting class that was coming in Louisiana. He's recruiting well in high school, actually. Next week, we're going over the National Signing Day. So we're going to finish out National Signing Day from early National Signing Day up until next week's National Signing Day, because next week is National Signing Day for high school. So we're going to round out recruiting right here next week. But Lane Kiffin is recruiting, and he's working hard at LSU. LSU, and I said it last year because I thought LSU they had the number 1 recruiting class, portal class last year, and you look at LSU and you're like, oh, they're gonna win it all. Then you come to find out the coaching wasn't great, right? And then a lot of people, if you say, okay, well, I mean, it's the number one class this year. What are you going to think about this year, right? I mean, I'm not going to jump the gun and sit there and say they're winning it all. But I will tell you this, I would not expect it to be like last year. I really think LSU's offense is going to be dynamic. I think they're going to be something to watch out for. Not only something to watch out for, they got the crazy staff, a solid staff, some good quarterbacks, some electrifying receivers. They got a team on offense now. They're building up and bulking up that offensive line. I think that's the main focus. Defense, a lot of guys are coming back on defense. You got Whit Weeks coming back on defense for them. I just think that with this class, LSU is rocking and rolling. I don't think a lot of people are going to expect them to win it all. I don't know. I mean, I got to evaluate people's springs now, so I can't really say, okay, they're winning it all. No. We're going to pump the brakes. Let's just wait till after spring, after we do our spring outlooks and spring results. But this is a good look. Number one, immediately going into your first season as LSU head football coach, immediately, this is a very good look for Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss is number two. Yes, they haven't skipped a beat. A lot of people are still committed to Ole Miss and what Pete Golding's doing at Ole Miss. I think number two is really good for them. They are recruiting really hard in the portal. They got guys like Jonte Cook coming in at receiver. They lose Austin Simmons and Caden Lee, sure. But Jonte Cook coming from there is pretty solid. You got Deuce Knight at quarterback, unless Trinidad Chambliss doesn't come back. You bring back Kawan Lacey. I think that offense could be cooking and humming with John David Baker coming from East Carolina over to Ole Miss. It's all going to be cooking. And I think Ole Miss utilizing this portal class at number two is really solid for them. So number two, Ole Miss. Number three, Texas, Muschamp on defense, back at defense, coaching the defensive coordinator spot. You got Sarkisian at head coach, and then Kyle Flood still at OC and everything. But Sarkisian calling the play still. Got Cam Coleman at receiver. You only got one 5-star with Cam Coleman, but you still got some guys in the portal that you can utilize, right? On your team, right? You don't have to be all 4 stars. Just build a team, like I kept saying. Like I said, just build your team. I like some of the incoming transfers. I like Raleek Brown at running back from Arizona State. Zion Williams, defensive lineman, going there from Texas. Justin Cryer at linebacker, going from Florida State to Texas. You had, like I said, Cam Coleman, that move. And then I really like Rasheem Biles going from Pitt to Texas at linebacker. That's going to be a really good pickup on the defensive side of things. Some good moves being made for Texas. So number 3 is Texas. Watch out for them. So number 3, Texas. Number 4, obviously Miami with some of the pickups they made, including Darian Mensah. They were doing really good in the portal. Number 4 is Miami. They bring back, like I said, both coordinators, which is really good for them. And a lot of people fit their scheme too. So I like Miami at 4. That's a really good for Miami. Number 5 is Ohio State. Ohio State's rounding out the portal. I don't know how I really feel about their new OC. Their new OC is Arthur Smith. They hired him from the Pittsburgh Steelers, or former Pittsburgh Steelers, offensive coordinator, Pittsburgh Steelers. He is now with the Ohio State Buckeyes as their offensive coordinator. So he's in the college ranks now. So I don't really know how I feel about that. It's a wait and see kind of thing, in my opinion. I just don't know. Ohio State's number 5, Penn State 6. I'll tell you what, I really like Oklahoma State at 7. I think that's not a shock, because I think half of North Texas's team is at Oklahoma State. Drew Mestemaker, Caleb Hawkins, the 1-2 punch in the backfield. You got Eric Morris calling the plays. The staff that they're building there, the portals are picking up from Oklahoma State. They're doing really, really good. They had a bunch of commits, a bunch of 3-stars coming in there. Dominic Macon at the defensive line. Anai White from Penn State going to Oklahoma State. You got Drew Mestemaker, obviously. Caleb Hawkins, obviously. A lot of guys from North Texas. You got Donovan Green at tight end going from LSU to Oklahoma State. So you're building some guys here, guys. You're building some dudes. You got Miles Coleman going from going from North Texas to Oklahoma State. Braden Nelson going from North Texas to Oklahoma State. Evan Jackson, Colin Lewis. I'm looking at the list here. A lot of guys going from, and half his team going from North Texas to Oklahoma State. So you're Caleb Hawkins, like I said, you're building up for Oklahoma State. Number 7's a really good spot, especially with the season you had. I think Oklahoma State's going to be a surprise team this year. I really do. Eric Morris, good play caller. I would expect them to have a huge bounce back season coming up this year. And then to round up the top 10, 8, 9, and 10, Indiana at 8, Texas Tech at 9, and Kentucky at 10. The defending national champion Indiana Hoosiers, Kirk Cignetti, is putting in work in the portal, getting Josh Hoover to replace Fernando Mendoza at quarterback. Like I said, not a lot of 5-star guys. And they didn't even do a big bunch of work. But they still got some guys that are 4-star players and some talent there. Nick Marsh is a guy that Josh Hoover is going to be able to throw to, and Nick Marsh is an absolute machine at Michigan State. He was really good at Michigan State. He's going to be really good at Indiana. So you got him at receiver. At wide receiver, Shaz Preston from Tulane. He's going there. So you got Preston and Marsh. You're getting some guys for him to throw to. And then on the interior offensive lineman from Wisconsin, you got Joe Brunner from Wisconsin to round out that interior offensive lineman at Indiana. So Indiana is still going to be solid this year. I still think they're going to be a total complete team. They're going to be good. Their ranking is well-deserved. Kirk Cignetti is just putting in the work in the portal. You have Texas Tech, which is not a shock to me. I think Joey McGuire, with the Brendan Sorsby addition, is doing quite well in the portal. I think that they're using their money well. They're using their resources well. And I think that's why a lot of people are committing and buying in. Joey McGuire's a good coach. He's a good portal coach. And Texas Tech is just doing it. They're doing the thing. They got Sorsby, Jordan Church, a interior offensive lineman from Louisville. Another good move for Texas Tech over here is, at least to me, is Corey Platt from Kentucky at linebacker. Jamon Mathis, edge rusher from Kent State. They got a lot of guys, man. They got a lot of guys that are good. Another one, to me, Malcolm Simmons at receiver to help out Sorsby. So they got some guys, man, coming in from this portal, and we're going to see what happens with Texas Tech. I still favor them in the Big 12, but we'll see what happens. They got some guys, their teams on their schedule that they're going to have to they're going to have to come to play. That's all I got to say. They're going to have to come to play. Here's the surprise for me to round out the top 10. To round out the top 10, surprise to me was Kentucky. I want everybody to pay attention to Kentucky. So Will Stein coming in from Oregon as the offensive coordinator. Mark Stoops no longer there. Will Stein, enter him as the new head coach of Kentucky. Hopefully I get to have Coach Stein on one day because I would love to talk to him about his vision at Kentucky football. Played at Louisville. Interesting there. But we're going to see what happens with Kentucky and Will Stein there. So what he's doing is we're going to use the portal immediately, and he's picked up some guys, especially at quarterback. From Notre Dame, Kenny Minchey coming in from Notre Dame at quarterback. That is a pretty good pickup. Pretty good pickup. He was originally committed to Nebraska. He was verbally committed to Nebraska, not signed, but verbally. He ended up getting flipped to Kentucky, and now he is committed and most likely will sign with Kentucky. Good pickup for Kentucky. Kenny Minchey, a stud at quarterback. He was really good in the quarterback battle with C.J. Carr. C.J. Carr just edged him out just a little bit, and he's transferred from Notre Dame to Kentucky. Good player. Really smart, fast, got a cannon for an arm. He made some accurate decisions in the spring game as well, and in the quarterback competition with Notre Dame. So we're going to see what happens. I think it's a really good pickup for Kentucky. I expect him to start, obviously. You get C.J. Baxter from Texas at running back. You get another one is Nick Anderson at receiver to help out. Kenny Minchey at quarterback. You're getting some more receivers as well. Javonte Barnes from OU. So you got Barnes, Baxter at the running back spot, creating a 1-2 punch. You got Lance Hurd on the offensive lineman from Tennessee. That is pretty good. You got Tegra Tashabola from Ohio State. That's pretty solid on the offensive line. And you're just loading up at the receiver spot. Brock Kaufman from Louisville, Anderson from LSU, so Jacaden Ferguson from Arkansas. So you're getting a lot of guys at the receiving spot and on the O-line to help build around Kenny Mitchell, which is great for Kentucky. They're number 10, and they're number 10 for a reason. I think what they are doing with this class, would not be surprised to see if Kentucky's one of those teams that rises from the ashes once again, like they did in 2021, around there, and they are sneaking up on teams and probably just outright beating teams. I'm not going to be surprised if they start winning some games this year. A lot of people are going to say, dude, it's Kentucky. They haven't been good in a minute. I get it. Still wouldn't be surprised right now if they won games. I would not. With the talent that they're picking up, I'm warning you guys. It's a pre-warning. It's January. We got another 8 months, going on 7 months. I'm warning you. Kentucky's going to win some games that you're not going to expect them to win. That's a statement right there. Just bookmark this. Kentucky's going to win some games you're not expecting them to win. So overall, that's the top 10. So obviously, if you want to go over the winners of the portal, LSU's is the main winner. I mean, what they're doing is beyond me with what Lane Kiffin's doing there. Ole Miss is a winner. Texas is a winner. I think Kentucky is a huge winner. I think what Kentucky is doing is surprising to me. Is what they're doing is great. The talent they're picking up. I mean, they're ahead of Michigan, A&M, and a lot of other schools, which is pretty cool to see. Will Stein putting in work for the Wildcats is, a rival school because, like I said, he played at Louisville. But look, he's putting in work at Kentucky, so they're a winner to me as well, bringing in a lot of talent. Texas is a winner, and Miami's a winner, obviously, and so is Oklahoma State and Indiana. They're winners as well. I think Auburn's a winner. I think Auburn, with the arrival of Byron Brown at quarterback, which they finally got a good quarterback, he is going to be solid under Gullish's system at Auburn because he was under Gullish's system at South Florida. I think Auburn doing what they're doing at number 13 is really good, especially for losing a lot of transfer. They had a mass exodus of guys that they've lost through the portal. I think Auburn is doing quite well for themselves, even though they lost a lot of guys. I think number 13 is a really good spot for them after losing so much. So number 13, 16 is Alabama. Alabama they're heavy on the portal this year. I think that they weren't as heavy as most, I would think. I mean, they got four-star guys from the portal and 12 3-stars. They probably got more guys that we don't know about the portal as well, but they don't have any 5-stars, none of that. Bama has a lot of in-house talent from high school recruiting because they value high school recruiting a lot, and they're doing well with high school recruiting. So Bama at number 16 is not really a shock to me, but they're doing well. So Bama's still going to be Bama. That's all you got to say. Bama's still going to be Bama. I would consider Bama a winner, and I consider Michigan a winner as well. I think those are some of the winners in the portal there. I think, to me, some of the teams that I'm surprised has not used the portal as well, and some of where their rankings are at. I think Georgia is one. Not too bad. But I think Georgia's one because I think they need some depth in some key areas. I think they need some more receivers. I think they need to add some depth to that position. I still think they need to add some depth to the linebacker spot. I know they have a lot of high school recruits are coming in, and that's what they value there. I get it. It's what Kirby Smart values, but I would still use the portal slightly. I think that's one for me. I think Georgia is one. I'm surprised they probably could have used it a little bit better. And I think here's one for me, and this is not me taking any jabs at anything, but North Carolina didn't have a good season. They really didn't. North Carolina did not have a good season at all. Bill Belichick, which, by the way, Bill Belichick, and this is off topic, but I'm going to mention this now, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I don't get why the Pro Football Hall of Fame decided, okay, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer this year. He is. He's eligible. He should be first ballot Hall of Famer. Same with Eli Manning. I don't get that at all. We mentioned Ole Miss. You're mentioning North Carolina now. I don't get why those two guys aren't Hall of Famers. This is the second time Eli Manning's been subbed. This is the first time Bill Belichick's been. This is the first time Bill Belichick's been subbed or snubbed. I think that Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer and should be in the Hall of Fame this year. Don't get that. But anyway, Bill Belichick, I'm surprised he did not. It looks like from the numbers, he used the portal. He had 19 commits, all 3 stars. I'm surprised by the ranking, and he probably could have done a little bit more than he did. He's probably just going off of high school recruiting as well, but I'm surprised UNC has not used the portal significantly. They're 48th. That's their ranking. They're 48th. They're in the top 50, which is good, but they're not even in the top 30. They didn't crack the top 25. They could have done some work in the portal, and it didn't look like they've done a lot, but not too much. And they may be improved next year. Bill Belichick in North Carolina may be improved next year, but I'm just surprised they probably needed to utilize it more after the season they had. I'm surprised they really didn't. So that's a shocker to me. Wisconsin's a must. I think Wisconsin, they got some guys in the portal. I mean, they had 33 commits, which is good. 33 commits in the portal is good. Don't get me wrong. But they're 47th. They felt like they could have pushed a little bit harder in this portal because of the season they had and because of the season that is coming up for Luke Fickell in Wisconsin. I think that they probably should have utilized the portal a lot more. So some of the winners and or losers, I would think. I mean, I would think some of the down there who could have used it really were North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Georgia. I think those are the 3 that come to mind in my heart that you really should have utilized the portal well. Wisconsin for sure, because Wisconsin needs it. Luke Fickell needs this season. Portal-wise, recruiting, overall high school recruiting-wise, he needs to have a good spring. I mean, Wisconsin need to have a better season than they did this year for head coach Luke Fickell's sake. I like Luke Fickell. I really do. I'm just being honest. He needs to have a better season this go-round. He really does. I think the portal is not to what I was expecting for Wisconsin. I think a lot of Wisconsin fans are maybe expecting it. Who knows? But I think they could have done a little bit better in the portal. I just being honest, I think they really could have done a lot better in this portal. So overall, recapping the portal, those are the winners and the guys who could have done better, right? Who are the losers who could have done better, right? Not necessarily losers, just could have done a lot better in the portal. High school recruiting's next week. We'll round that out next week. But I'm going to tell you what, there's some moves still being made, but those are the teams I keep an eye on. I mean, if you want to look at the teams that I keep an eye on, mainly LSU. I keep an eye out for Oklahoma State, Texas Tech again. I even though they're out to the top 10, I am kind of liking what Alex Golesh and Auburn's doing, honestly. I'm really liking what Kentucky's doing. So those are the schools that I would keep an eye out on as well. So for me, those are the schools I would keep an eye out on. That was the transfer portal, and that was what we talked about, who won, who necessarily wasn't utilizing it well, who could have utilized it a lot better, and overall some of the best moves that I liked in the portal. So we're out of time. A big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college football coverage presented by me. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple. All you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X on Instagram is at Pigskin_Frenzy. Follow like the pages there. You're getting episode updates and news and highlights from across college football and more on those social media websites for Pigskin Frenzy. Guys, the website's www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. We are super pumped about coming up next week. High school recruiting, we're going to preview National Signing Day on Tuesday. We're going to recap National Signing Day on Thursday. So whole week next week is going to be all about high school recruiting. Cannot wait for those 2 episodes next week. We're super fired up. Guys, we cannot do this show without you guys. A big thank you. We Love you guys. We're so thankful you tune in each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Like I said, listeners are going up 65,000 on all audio platforms, about to be at 6,600 listeners across all audio platforms. And then not only that, we have about 79,000 channel views on YouTube. Keep tuning into Pigskin Frenzy and keep rising those numbers up. We're so thankful for you guys. Not only that, we couldn't do this without our Lord and Savior Jesus. We give him all the praise and we glorify him tremendously. Guys, cannot wait for Tuesday, and until Tuesday's episode of Pigskin Frenzy. I'm Joel Norris. We're signing off. Have a great weekend. I know there's a lot of people going through this winter storm. We're praying for you all. We hope you stay warm. I know it's tough. You guys, we're gonna pray for you, and we know that God's got everybody during this. So we love you guys. We're praying for you all. As always, stay the course.